like to welcome you all for attending tonight. It's wonderful to see so many faces and from all over the world. I am Mary Beth Morrison. I'm president right now of Pastel Society of Maine, and we're coming to you from Maine and all over the world. But I'll just tell you briefly, we're a nonprofit since 1999. And this is our 24th open juried pastels only event. We've had several by Zoom, but by virtual, but most of our shows have been in person. And we have made the decision to go virtual every other year because of the big job that it is. And it just seems to work for us this way. So thank you, everyone who entered today's show. There were 440 works in this show, and 100 were chosen out of that number. I want to say how valuable we consider every entrant. We consider our members and the pastel world at large to be our greatest assets. We know that competing in a juried exhibition it's a big effort, and we appreciate all that, but also it's a huge step forward for the artist. We all learn as we do this. We learn by being accepted, we learn by not being accepted, and we see what one another is doing, and we learn more about the pastel world at large. It's an honor, and it's a task. So thank you for being part of it. And I would like to say a specific thank you to Terry Lynn DeBroy, who really spearheaded our show this year, and Laura Beckering, Christine Bradbury, Susan Cuniff, Sarah Ostrov, all did a lot of work around helping with the show. And thank you to every one of you. Our thanks go to Lynn Diefenbach, our wonderful juror and judge of awards. We'll talk more about Lynn in a minute. Thank you to Show Submit, who makes the process of entering so smooth. I mean, smooth. Austin Hamby is a huge blessing to all of us. And I thank him for all the good improvements he's made in Show Submit too. As I said, we thank every person who entered a piece in this show, and our humble gratefulness for your supporting of Pastel Society of Maine. Also want to thank our reciprocal pastel societies who share in the awarding, and that is the Pastel Society of America, the Pastel Painters Society of Cape Cod, the Central Massachusetts Pastel Society, the Connecticut Pastel Society, and the Pastel Society of New Hampshire. All of them have helped us with our awards. The way this is going to go tonight is Terry Lynn is going to, now she is going to take us through all the show images and remark on name and title. It'll take about 6 to 8 seconds per piece, 100 pieces, so hang with us. These will all be visible on our website hereafter. And then after she shows those images, I'll come back with a few words about Lynn while she organizes the award. So I'm going to pass it over to you now, Terry Lynn.
Thank you. I'm Terry Lynn DeBroy. I am the Vice President of the Pastel Society of Maine, and it is my pleasure to bring you the show. And I do, as Mary Beth mentioned, really appreciate all the people that submitted to this show. And if you didn't get in, there's other shows out there. Sometimes if I don't get in, I think, oh, now that painting's available to try for another show. So the important thing is to keep painting, keep creating. That's what it's all about. Without further ado, once I get my screen share, we will start with the show. And I apologize for any mispronunciations that I may do. Pam Egan Smith, Bridget in London. Shoshana Ahart, Summer Afternoon in the Garden. Susan Atchison, Maine Light Sparkles. Patty Arbino, Wood to Rock 2. Lori Arrell, Sweet Spice. Lorianne Basham, Jelly Jar Flowers. Laura Beckering, Hummer. Darlene Biggis Doheny, Blissful Pleasure, Remembering Grandmother's Sweet Peas. Bithia German, Pickup Party. Joanne Boisvert, Daylily. Terry Brooks, Red Hot. Victoria Brustowicz, Casual Arrangement. Joe Burton, Nightfall. Jose Caro, Joy. Eileen Casey, Autumn Honesty. Nancy Chen, A Joyous Moment. Jen Sing Chi, Return with a Full Load. Lu Ya Chin, Resting Wildcat. Fabio Cufari, St. John the Evangelist. Sharon Elizabeth Culp Gorman, Orchid Cascade. Susan E. Cuniff, My Blue-Eyed Boy. Christina Davis, The Terminal. Bernadette Desari, Inner Path. Diana DeGrasse, Running Brook. Keith Demanche, Rise Above. Terry Lynn DeBroy, Pisgah Falls. Rodney Eldeston, Self. Lisa Fairdy Vance, Small Pond Paradise. Joelle Feldman, Autumn Leaves in the Nabudsnik River. Trish Finlitter, The Herd Pool. Dave Francis, Jeremy's Cabinet No. 2. Irina Furman, The Golden Chick. Dinah Gardner, The Evening Show. Janet Gill, Sunlit Hillside. Chris Gibson, or Gibson, sorry, Bullfrog's Lament. Suzanne Godbout, Peaches and Tin. Mary Ann Goetz, Stoic. Chen Gong, Self-Portrait. Cindy Griffith, Frilly Folly. Ellen Gust, Bloomin'. Luisa Gabriela Gutzman, Beautiful Bolivia. Tatiana Harbekchutskia, Vibrant Harvest. Again, I apologize for pronunciations. Catherine Howe, Wavelength. Francis Huffman, Steel Stairs. Karen Israel, A Quiet Spree. Christine Ivers, Transitions. Patty Jeffries, Maggie's Gaze. Jiangyong Jiang, Colorful Mountain Birds. Miles Johnston, Looking for Treasures. Shondell Joyce, Blowing Bubbles. Laura Wynne Kane, David's Gypsy. Ken Keith, Tlaquepaque Chapel. Elizabeth Laflamme, Regard de Velour. Catherine Lapointe Volmer, East Woods. Suzanne Larkham, Bloomstruck. Shook Susan Lee, For Me It's Always Spring. Mina Levitt, White Profusion. Cheng Li, Afternoon. Yu Chen Ling, Early Summer Afternoon. Ching Quan Lin, Smile Bicycle. Kim Long, Journal of One's Petals. Karen Maskowitz, Fresh Picked Beans. Yael Mayman, Yellow. Nancy Clark Mariani, Brush in Hand. Barbara Mason, Hexa. Denise Matic Krupa, Basin Marina. Elisa McMenamin, Break in the Fence. Jacqueline Meyerson, Throw Me a Lifesaver. Marianne Mullet, Busy. Marianne Pals, Chicago Garter. Kathleen Perelka, The Angus Brothers. Rosemary Pergolesi, Transience. Mary Pritchard, Horizontal Red. Heather Quay, At the Game. Toby Reed, Cooling Off. Ruth Renard, Serenity. Diana Rogers, Spring Morning Calm in the Wetlands. Carol Rogers, Holding. Harvey Rogeson, The Climb Ahead. Terry Levine Rosenblum, Sweet Baby in a Blanket. John Sherry, Outskirts of Town. Lee Chun Shi, Fruit Still Life. Jody Schleilberg, La Taverne du Forum. Ann Singer, Barnyard Bully. Ina Sirochtan, Morning with Yellow Irises. Lucy Ellen Smith, Blowing Bubbles. Joel Sobelson, Camellia. Michelle Spencer, Kinda Like Diamonds. Sabrina Stiles, Summer Dreams. Michael Owen Story, Water Lily at Longwood. Nori Thorne, American Rodeo. Marcia Teedy, Marvin. Ling Hui Chen, The Beautiful Moments with You. Anu Vedagiri, Here for Now. Robert Walter, Cold Winter Morning. Avon Waters, Wooded Waterway. Anne Wickham, Offerings 2. Yu Chen Wu, Just Like Pegasus. Yi Chen Wu, Morning's Pink. Jinji Zhu, The Story of Light. That is the complete show. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry Lynn. Terry Lynn's going to organize the awards board for our next segment. But meanwhile, let me introduce Lynn Diefenbach, our esteemed juror of selection and judge of awards. I've not met Lynn personally, but except over the screen, but she is a delight and a truly warm person. I appreciate you, Lynn, being with us, and appreciate your expertise and your willingness to act as judge. It is a difficult task to ask someone to judge artworks, knowing how subjective they are and how personal and sensitive some of it is. But Lynn has developed her own kind of following, I think, in the world of being judged. She's being asked more and more to judge shows, and it's an honor really to have you. Lynn is an artist for well over 30 years and has many credentials to her name. I'm going to read them very briefly. She is a master pastelist with the Pastel Society of Australia. She's eminent pastelist with IAPS, International Association of Pastel Societies. She has been accepted into the International Guild of Realism. She is a signature member with Pastel Society of America. And she has been published in many magazines, including International Artist Magazine, Pastel Journal, and Australian Artist Magazine. Lynn had the honor of being invited to do demonstration in pastel at 100 years of pasteling in China, I think in 2019 in Suzhou. And it was a great honor. Only a few people were invited. Lynn is known for her beautiful, realistic florals, her portraits, seascapes, and still life, many with reflections. She works in pastel and in oils. Lynn does demonstrations and she does workshops in person. She does teaching videos and Zoom events. She's a mom and a wife. She's involved in church and her own community and represented by 4 different galleries that I know of in Australia. She tutors across Australia and has adapted her abilities to teach by Zoom, as you will see. Her website is www.ldief.com. You can see a lot of her amazing work there. So do go and see it. Terry Lynn, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, so Terry Lynn, now we'll pass it over to Lynn for the awarding of the honors.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm sorry, I'll be looking down a lot from the camera because my little speech and information is down below the camera. Thanks both to Terry and Mary Beth. Mary Beth, thank you for your kind words. And wasn't it exciting to see all those paintings? I really, having spent a lot of time looking at each one of them, it was lovely to see them all together as a group, and it made me feel so joyful that the craft and art of painting is so fulfilling and so meaningful for each one of us. And so I just want to give you a little snippet of my ideas of what art is about, the eternal question, what is art? And just shortly, I won't hold you up too long. And so my thoughts are, what you see before you is a room full of ideas, of thought processes, of responses to a theme. Each work expressing a uniqueness of personality and individuality that is a gifting to this world. Being creative in whatever form is an integral part of being human, one that should never be neglected no matter what life throws at us. For an artist to take an idea from the beginning, just being that idea, to a full-blown conclusion is a thrilling and satisfying experience, even though there may be frustrations along the way. Hours can be lost at the easel. The mind is diverted to the task at hand and wrested from the world around. The occupation can be contemplative, meditative, and yes, sometimes a struggle, which when resolved is so satisfying. For me, walking into my studio is like a homecoming. The smell of oils and elixir, the table littered with ideas, the canvases stacked, the pastels piled high, the dog waiting, anticipating a day of comfort while I expend all of the energy. The activity of creating is an exercise in mental gymnastics, so much more than a pleasant pastime or slapping paint around. It takes practice and time to have an eloquent artistic voice. Art can be used to make a statement or simply to draw attention to a subject because it is beautiful or quirky or evocative. And art, of course, for the one who buys, is an investment in visual pleasure that satisfies for a lifetime. With these thoughts in mind, how can I possibly judge one work against another? But needs must, and so here is my criteria for selection. Firstly, it has to grab and hold my attention. This does not mean that it needs to be loud, in inverted commas, but it might be quiet and contemplative, a solace for the soul, a rhythmic beat, an elegant finesse, or it could be bold and delivered with flourish. There's a multitude of emotions that might be felt, and all are valid. A well-composed painting will always give life to the storyline or the reason for painting the subject in the first place. A successful composition will lead the eye on a voyage of discovery throughout the picture. It will highlight the main act and will put in place the supports for it so that it will have something to say, even if this is as simple as the pure delight of a thing of beauty. So many different approaches to painting, and thank goodness for that. From the extremes of abstractionism to hyperrealism and everywhere in between, there's a niche for everyone and every approach is valid. And each, if done well, take an extraordinary amount of skill. Skill doesn't happen overnight, it takes painting miles, determination, a trueness to self, and a recognition of what brings you joy and how you want to express it. We don't suddenly arrive, but we certainly enjoy the journey and also applaud the successes of those who've already trod the pathway. And with that, now we can come to our awards. Thanks, Terry Lynn. Well, we're first looking at the award from the Pastel Society of Cape Cod. And this particular painting it goes to John Sherry for his painting Outskirts of Town. This particular painting, for me, is powerful in its simplicity. The carriages stand solidly amidst remoteness. It's a highly evocative painting, so congratulations to John. The second award is given by the Central Massachusetts Pastel Society. And this goes to Chi Lin for Smile Bicycle. And isn't this a wonderful subject? It's a tricky subject, but it has such a twist of fun. And it's approached with energetic mark making, successful in every way. The next award is offered by the Pastel Society of New Hampshire. And this goes to Chen Li for Afternoon. This is a beautifully rendered work, and it's the hallmark of the piece, the subtle rendering of values and colour. The subtle and delicate values of the bust support the main event of the heavy teapot. It's a very quiet painting, but doesn't it speak volumes? Next, we have the award from the Connecticut Pastel Society, and this goes to Tatiana, Havak Eshkeya. Sorry, Tatiana. And it's called Vibrant Harvest. This has a beautiful composition. It's a beautiful composition of shapes, of values, of colours, and of edges, all together, put together with immense confidence and joyous, energetic strokes. The final Merit Award is offered by the Pastel Society of America, and this goes to Trish Findlater for The Herd Pool. This is a work that shows superbly the use of negative space to carve out the positive object. The shapes of the trees and reflections are described by the background light. The yellow sets the time of day, washing the scene with the golden hour. The painting is energetic, is lively, and beautiful. Now we go forward to the Memorial Award. And this award goes to Joelle Feldman for Autumn Leaves in the Nuban-Uist River. That's a tricky one. And it's a beautiful snippet of the life of a waterway. The artist skillfully alludes to the multi-levels of life in a translucent stream. The viewer becomes aware of the rocks under the water, of eddies and currents, of leaves floating free and leaves caught amidst the rocks. It's a place filled with light and sunlight and shadows, a place to be still and let peace infuse your spirit. The President's Award. This award goes to Fabio Caffari for St. John the Evangelist. It's a monumental piece of work, monumental both in size and subject. I don't pretend to understand all of the symbolism, but it is a masterful return to traditional storytelling. Third place goes to Terry Brooks for Red Hot. This is such an exciting painting. I was like feeling like I should cheer. Wow, the movement, the action, the light and colour of this piece is astounding. It's superbly drawn and rendered with brevity. Congratulations to Terry. Second place. Second place goes to Nancy Chen for A Joyous Moment. This is an extraordinary portrait, extraordinary in its textures, its vibrancy, and masterful application. The face is such a small part of the whole, but is beautifully rendered. The downcast eyes are contemplative, and this is all surrounded by an intense array of colours set against a rich, dark background. Truly, this painting is breathtaking. Congratulations, Nancy. And now we come to the first place. Drum roll. Drum roll. First place. First place goes to Jianji Zhu for The Story of Light. The overall winning work, this piece of work, heightens the sense of the viewer in every way. I'm surprised by the subject, but I'm taken on an emotional roller coaster of stillness and beauty. At the same time, I feel a sense of loss, abandonment, and decay. Dust and debris is everywhere, but a shaft of light turns the ugly and unwanted into a thing of beauty. The palette of colours is limited, but each area of the painting is sensitively rendered to describe subtleties of value and edge relationships. Mood and atmosphere abound. It's technically superb and exquisite in every way. Congratulations to Jianji. And that comes to the end of our awards. Congratulations, everyone. Back to you, Terry Lynn.
Thank you. Those are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. We did request that Lynn give us a great variety of paintings in the overall show, and then she chose the award winners from those. So realizing again that there were like over 440 paintings submitted, only 100 chosen for the show. We had 76 paintings from the United States. 24 foreign countries were also involved. We had 18 of our own PSME members and 82 non-members. It's great to have such a wonderful international exhibit, and thank you all for your contributions. Mary Beth?
Thank you, Terry Lynn. And thank you, Lynn, for the delightful comments. Those comments are gold.